The Fox and the Hound is undoubtedly one of the most underrated movies from Disney. This movie has got a truly awesome story, packed with all sorts of emotions and life lessons that anyone can relate to. It all starts off with this adorable little fox named Todd, who sadly loses his mom to a hunter at the beginning of the movie. Just when things are looking pretty bleak for the poor guy, a kind-hearted woman named Widow Tweed steps in and decides to take care of him. It's really heartwarming to see how much she cares for Todd, and it's clear that they share a special bond. As the story unfolds, Todd goes on a bunch of adventures and eventually meets this cute hound dog puppy named Copper. Now, here's the wild part. Copper's owner just so happens to be a hunter, and it's entirely possible that he's the same guy who killed Todd's mom in the beginning. Anyway, the hunter raises Copper to become a skilled hunting dog, which is pretty standard for his breed. But what makes this story so great is how it shows the unlikely friendship that develops between Todd and Copper, even though they're technically supposed to be enemies. The movie does an amazing job of teaching us about the importance of love, friendship, and understanding, even when we find ourselves in difficult situations. I know it's not exactly typical to see a hound dog and a fox being best friends, but these two just click, and it's honestly pretty incredible to watch their friendship blossom. Unfortunately, as time goes by, things start to get complicated. Copper's all grown up now, and he's got to focus on his training to become a hunter. It's a real bummer when Todd finally reunites with him after a long time apart, thinking everything's still cool between them, only to find out that they can't be friends anymore. This whole situation really strikes a chord with a lot of people because it mirrors what often happens in real life. You know, when we're kids, we make these amazing friendships, but as we grow older, we start to drift apart. It's super sad, but it's just a part of life that many of us can relate to. It's tough to see Todd and Copper go through this, but it's also a reminder that sometimes, even the strongest friendships can change over time. That's why I think this movie is just so amazing. The story is so beautiful and timeless. It's a total classic. It's a real shame that it doesn't get as much recognition as some other Disney movies, but trust me, it's definitely worth a watch. One of the things I love most about it is how Todd and Copper have to overcome their differences as they grow up. When they were just kids, everything was simple, and they could be friends without any worries. But as they get older, things change, and life gets more complicated. And let's not forget about Amos Slade, Copper's owner, who absolutely loves hunting foxes, which of course, includes Todd. Talk about a complicated relationship. It's crazy to see how all these characters have to navigate their roles in the world while still holding on to the friendship they've built. As the story progresses, an intense chase unfolds, with Todd being pursued by Copper and Chief, the two hound dogs belonging to the hunter Amos Slade. I must acknowledge Chief's significant role in the story, as he is the older and more experienced hunting dog. During this pursuit, an unfortunate incident occurs, leaving Chief injured with a broken leg after being hit by a train. Copper, fueled by anger and misunderstanding, places the blame on Todd and seeks revenge.
Todd, if it's the last thing I do, I'll get you for this.
Their once unwavering friendship now appears to be shattered beyond repair. However, Todd is given a chance to demonstrate his courage and loyalty when Amos and Copper find themselves in imminent danger, facing a bear attack. In a selfless act of heroism, Todd risks his own life to protect them, proving that he is a true friend despite their differences. One of the most heart-wrenching moments in the film happens when Todd, battered and exhausted from the ordeal, pulls himself out of the water after falling into a ravine. The repercussions of Todd's courageous act have a profound impact on his relationships with Copper and Amos. Even after Todd's heroic action saved the hunter's life, Amos Slade still aimed his gun at Todd, seemingly intent on killing him. The reason behind this behavior remains unexplained, but Copper's timely intervention prevented a tragedy. He bravely positioned himself in front of Todd, shielding him from harm and seemingly imploring Amos not to kill him. Remarkably, this gesture ultimately prompted Amos to reconsider his actions, which was highly uncharacteristic of him as he typically showed no mercy to foxes. Thankfully, this pivotal moment marked a turning point for the relationships between Todd, Copper, and Amos, as they managed to reconcile their differences. As a result, Todd and Copper were able to rekindle their friendship after enduring a series of trials and tribulations. Although they're not as close friends as they used to be, they still have mutual respect for each other. Additionally, Widow Tweed, who had raised Todd since he was a kid, also reconciled with Amos. The story thus concludes on a hopeful note, emphasizing the power of forgiveness and understanding in overcoming adversity and mending fractured relationships. Before the resolution, Widow Tweed and Amos Slade had a strained relationship. While they weren't exactly enemies, their differing perspectives on wildlife created a divide between them. Widow Tweed cared for Todd, a fox, as a pet, while Amos Slade trained Copper, a hound dog, to hunt. These contrasting roles complicated their interactions and bred resentment. However, as the story progresses, they manage to overcome their differences and reconcile. One of the most emotional moments in the movie, in my opinion, is when she decides to leave Todd in a reserve to protect him from Amos Slade's relentless pursuit. The animation in the film is noteworthy, with its vivid depictions of the natural world and the intricate details of the forest environment. For its time, it was truly ahead of the curve and stands out as visually captivating. Additionally, the songs throughout the movie contribute to its emotional impact. In particular, the scene where Todd is left in the reserve is enhanced by a touching song, creating a truly poignant moment. Despite being an underappreciated gem, the film deserves more recognition as a classic Disney masterpiece. While the movie does feature lighthearted moments, the overarching theme is predominantly serious and dark. The film opens with a tragic event. Todd's mother sacrifices herself to save him, ultimately leading to her death. This grim beginning sets the tone for the rest of the story and immediately introduces a poignant, emotionally weighty atmosphere.
Copper, you're my very best friend.
And you're mine too, Todd.
And we'll always be friends forever, won't we?
Yeah, forever.